I mean, Jermaine Burton did come on towards the end of the year, and I think that's...
And he's given indications, I believe, maybe nothing official, but most people believe that he will come back.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I haven't looked too deeply into it at this point, kind of wait and see where things are in a couple weeks after the bowl game. But, does he start next year? Maybe not. Like, if Alabama's starting receivers next year are still Ja'Cory Brooks and Jermaine Burton, and you have a younger or less experienced or basically someone who's not Bryce Young at quarterback, what does this passing offense look like next year? I mean, I think there would be some major question marks because there was this year with
Bryce Young
and Bryce and Burton starting. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of like the overall approach for Alabama, I still think they're going to be very selective. And I think part of that is you can only have so many guys that will compete on this roster. It's still obviously one of the best rosters in college football. It's going to be every year. But also I think there's a culture aspect of it too, where I think Saban wants to be very careful of bringing in too many guys who are from outside of the program, who they don't know firsthand, they haven't recruited, and you do lose some of the culture aspect of it. And that was even before the transfer portal rules got loosened. Like, that was always one of his biggest I think hesitancies to bring in guys from the outside was just you don't know how they are behind the scenes quite as much. But, they were very selective with like Landon Dickerson before then. I think Jay Coker was a transfer. There was maybe a guy or two here.
Very limited on the transfers.
Right. And I think that was very intentional on their part. And I think it still is because of that. And I'm sure the way things went this year with Harrell and, Ricks for a while, like I'm sure they're in Burton, the Tennessee game, like I'm sure there's a feeling that they sort of touched the stove a little bit and got their hand burned. So does that cause them to peel back a little bit this year? But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of roster holes to fill just from a pure number standpoint. So they're going to have to find guys somewhere.